Bebe amka. Your breakfast is ready. And I'm already late for work, so I think nitakuacha tu. Na hata unipeleke job.
Don't forget your dinner date tonight.
Okay. Sawa basi. Wewe tutaonana tu baadaye nikirudi. Your breakfast is there. I'll see you.
You called for me, madam.
Yes, I've received complaints about your team. Do you know how much that is tarnishing this hospital's name?
Actually, madam, we are really trying our best. Halafu, as you know, tuko na shortage ya workers.
Madam Grace,
Yes.
I suggest you work on your team if you really want to keep this job.
Yes, madam.
Yeah. Please, the door. Oh, and to what do I owe this surprise visit? You're welcome, Mr. Sam.
Thank you.
Have a seat.
Just the same deal, but even now better.
Mr. Sam, we already talked about this. I said we don't have...
Listen, madam, our package is fully improved. We also offer team building, which is good for their relaxation.
Mrs. Dior, we do not have the budget for that. And more so, we do not have the time.
What do you say about the deal? Even now, our budget is minimized to cater for,
As I said, we do not have the budget for that. Mr. Sam, can I see you later, please? Some other day. Goodbye.
Okay.
So ladies and gentlemen, before we dig deeper into our topic, that is fatigue and burnout among crisis workers or intervention workers, we just prepared for you a little illustration of what they go through in their day-to-day life. That is a short skit that just illustrates to you what their life is like. Now, in this skit, we want you to notice something, that it's not just about the work they are doing, responding to a crisis that was COVID-19 then. Now, these crisis intervention workers also have other lives to live. They have relationships out there. They have people who depend on them. They have their personal lives. And in this clip, I want you to notice some of those aspects. You will specifically notice that one of them maybe is expectant. Another one is in a relationship. Another one is in the family way and they have dependencies. Another one is just new in the job and is trying to survive through. So I want you to notice some of those things and we move on with our discussion.
Too early, huh?
But I worked overtime yesterday.
You are still late yesterday. Cut the excuses. Action. What is happening? Kuna outbreak tamasha quarantine center.
But we don't even have
Alafu, everyone is required, including me. Everybody is going, including me. Yes, for the team lead.
But we don't even...
I said move! What were you saying?
We don't even have PPE.
Over the COVID period, we saw a lot of havoc being wreaked upon our hospitals and our medical facilities. Now, one thing that we never considered is that the medical personnel that were working in the hospitals, and in this case, not only the doctors and the nurses, we are talking about everyone working in a hospital community. They were in one way or another overburdened, but all our focus was in the material thing and the availability of the material things that were required to combat the diseases. We could always hear of there is not enough PPEs, there is not enough beds, all the ICU beds are occupied, but did we ever put into consideration that these people who are working in those facilities, these people who are responding to calls for COVID-19 are still being overburdened? Now that's our focus.
Hey, this one right here.
Hello. Hata sasikii tena vizuri, amelemewa. Saizi niko job, but I'll come checking her jioni nikitoka job. Okay. Need to take care of her saizi, but nitakuja jioni. Okay. Sawa.
Tonight we are all working on extra shift.
Again, I quit. I want my maternity leave right now.
Armstrong will be attending to ward number 6. And Pauline will be receiving all the emergency phone calls.
And it is at this point that some people actually quit, while others go for some rather unethical means. Example, confiding in patients.
Habari yako?
Nzuri.
Uko salama?
Niko poa.
Unaitwa nani?
Naitwa Irene.
Irene, naona hata kumbe imeandika hapa. Irene, uko na miaka ngapi?
30.
Quick, we have an emergency. Everyone to the emergency door.
Hey, Irene, hata sisi huku hatujakuwa tukilala. Pressure imekuwa mingi hapa, patients hapa na pale, but tunapambana tu, si ndio?
In one way or another, do we ever stop to think about if this crisis that these people are intervening or responding to might affect them, whether directly or indirectly, through people they are closely related to? Now, let's see about it.
The person you have called is not reachable. We will notify you when the mobile subscriber is back. If you wish to leave a voice message, then please do so after the tone. The person you have called is not reachable. We will notify you when the mobile subscriber is back. If you wish to leave a voice message, then please do so after the tone. Please record after the beep. Press any key to stop the recording.
Hello babe. Nimeona ujibu text zangu hadi sahi. Seems you don't have time for me. I think we should take a break.
Every single human beings respond differently to every occasion and emotion that affects their lives. In most cases, some will just tend to quit. In other cases, you will be bound by your responsibility and those who depend on you and what you have to do with your life, that you can't quit to just keep suffering.
Hey.
But she's my mom.
Everything is under control.
Come
We're taking good care of her. Don't
She's
worry.
my mother.
I know, but we're taking care of
I am
her.
also a doctor.
Unfortunately, she didn't make it.
Every single human beings respond differently to every occasion and emotion that affects their lives. And in most cases, some will just tend to quit. In other cases, you will be bound by your responsibility and those who depend on you and what you have to do with your life, that you can't quit to just keep suffering. But at the end of it all, there is always a boiling point. And that is the point of burnout.
Maggie needs her maternity leave. Armstrong has just lost his mom. And finally, I quit.
Hello. Am I talking to counseling services? Yes, please. This is Madam Marion, and we need the counseling services as soon as possible. Yes, please. Yes. Okay, please come. Goodbye.
Like any other diagnosis, you need to realize when you are going through burnout or fatigue. Now, burnout, especially in crisis intervention workers, comes in several stages. Here, we will focus on 5 stages of burnout. Now, the first stage is the honeymoon phase. At the honeymoon phase, just like a honeymoon in marriage, it's a stage where it's not felt. It's either when you are starting out doing something, you feel energetic, you feel optimistic about whatever you are doing, you have enthusiasm to do whatever you are doing. Then you go to the second stage, which is the onset of stress phase. Now, eventually, maybe you started out on a job, you just new at the crisis intervention work, but eventually you just now start seeing the faults. Not every day is as good as the first day. Not everything you do is as appreciated as you would expect. Not all your expectations have been met about the job. Then you go to the chronic stress phase. Now, you reach a point where all these things that you are feeling, all these emotions become persistent, and the pressure mounts. Remember, it's work. There's much being expected of you. Like, you have to respond to everything. You have to be responsive to any crisis that happens. Now you start feeling tired, not completing your work on time. You have deadlines to meet, but you just don't have the energy to complete them. Then we have the burnout phase. Now, this is the real phase of burnout. At this phase, it's the fourth one. You are to your limit. We always say that everyone has a boiling point, and this is the stage. You're at your boiling point. Problems begin. You are so consumed and obsessed over everything that you just feel numb, very tired. You don't want to do anything now at this stage. Physical symptoms become intense. Headache, maybe you have stomach problems because of work. You just feel like it's morning. You don't feel like waking up. And some people just quit at that point. And then we come to the last stage, that is habitual burnout phase. Now, if you don't treat or respond to burnout at the fourth stage, that is, you get to the habitual burnout phase. And at this stage, everything now becomes haywire. You are used to it. You are just stressing yourself more. It becomes part of you. Yes, you don't want to do anything. You don't want to do whatever you are supposed to do, but you do it anyway. And that jeopardizes the results of whatever you are supposed to do. Maybe you are a medical doctor. It will jeopardize how much you respond to your patients. It will jeopardize how much you relate to other workers. In whatever area you are working in, as long as it is related to crisis intervention, it will be jeopardized by burnout. And that comes when you don't respond to burnout.